Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here, and I know some people are going to be trickling in this morning and coming and going, but it's my distinct pleasure to have a chance to welcome everyone here for the ATOM Forum of Revolutionizing Healthcare and Longevity. We have an incredible but also packed day for you here today, so we will be trying to move quickly and keep things on schedule, and hopefully you'll have enough breaks and opportunities to meet people, talk, and you can always step out also into the lobby if you'd like to continue discussions. It's a true honor for me because I have so many friends, colleagues, and new friends here. And for those of you who haven't been to Los Angeles or are visiting infrequently, the weather's like this about 90% of the year. So we have some climate scientists that are going to be talking today, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's good for us in Los Angeles, for those of you who have been coming from the East Coast. I want to thank the sponsors, but also kind of the foundational elements of this forum. Of course, ATOM, and I'll be talking about that, but the UCLA International Institute, of course, Chancellor Frank, who you'll be hearing from, representing our whole university, and Vice Provost Fan, who's not here with us, but she was at the London Forum. I also want to thank Nancy Catano, Christine Larson, Catherine Paul for their hard work on the UCLA side. You'll run into them. They're just incredible people, and I wouldn't have been able to organize literally anything without their support. Of course, I want to thank the National University of Singapore, who's well represented here today, and XPRIZE, which is an important organization that I'm a part of and honored to be a board member. And seeing all of these institutions, ATOM, UCLA, NUS, XPRIZE come together is like my worlds colliding. And I'm going to credit Steele Ford from XPRIZE, who said it looks like the bingo card of my life. Although I haven't been to Singapore, I need to go, but I did speak remotely at one of the forums, and I was just commenting to Vartan Sarkissian, I must really love Armen Sarkissian because he had me get up at like 3 in the morning to do a talk. But I also want to specifically thank Armen and Vartan for their leadership of ATOM and their friendship, longtime family friends for many years. And it's incredible to see everyone come together at UCLA, which is my home, an institution I love, and I have the honor of having been a student here, a trainee, now an alumnus, faculty member, administrator, donor, and it's just a big part of my life, and having everybody here at that focal point, it just fills me with immense pride and joy. And we're going to be talking about healthcare, longevity, science, and UCLA represents all of that. As a world-class leading research university, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the campus, we're at the Luskin Conference Center. And one of my dear friends, Meyer Lustin, who's also a partner of mine on a venture you'll be hearing about soon called the California Institute for Immunology and Immunotherapy. He and his wife, Rini, helped build this conference center. He's literally 100 years old, literally. And this conference center is close to what we call North Campus, where you'll see all of our professional schools, undergraduate study locations, library, athletics, et cetera. And then when you move south towards South Campus, you'll hit more engineering, health sciences, medical school, and et cetera. And I think we're one of the few major research universities in the whole world where we have everything contiguously on one campus. Now, of course, we're expanding and we're moving, especially our health system is expanding into the region. But this makes UCLA very unique for collaborations and for building partnerships. And I hope for those of you who are new to the institution, I hope you meet a lot of people today, have opportunities to collaborate in the future, and hopefully this is just the beginning of so many interactions for years to come. I have a brief slide to go over just in terms of housekeeping. We'll be using an application called Slido today for a question and answer with our panels. You simply enter the session code on the panel that's on the screen, such as ATOM7, to submit a question, and I'll explain how you can get to it. You'll also be able to upvote questions that you feel are important, and the moderator will receive all of those questions and the feedback and then make a determination. There's a QR code on the back of your badge with today's program, and also speaker photos and bios and other administrative information. So when you hear the announcement of somebody coming onto the stage, it won't have the illustrious bio that the speaker deserves and the moderators deserve, because we have all the information available to you electronically on the QR code. And then finally, later in the afternoon, we'll have a more hands-on approach with some roundtable discussions, so please do participate in those. I know people have compressed schedules, but I think it's well worth it. And you can have experts and stakeholders interacting together. You can also participate, and you can check the program. Again, click on the QR code or put your phone on the QR code, and it'll share all the information for you. So I'm excited to kick off Atom Forum, and it's my distinct honor now to introduce two important people who are very influential in terms of the success and vision of this Atom Forum and the future. So now I'd like to introduce Dr. Armen Sarkissian and Tiki Pangestu, who will lead us and introduce Chancellor Julio Frank. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Eric, and very happy to see you all. And of course, Eric mentioned the wonderful weather of California and LA. Well, for organizers of forums like this, it's always bad news. Imagine you're in London, it's rainy, it's dark, and there is a conference on health life. Where would you go? To the streets or to the conference? Do you go to conference? No, to bring our friends, that's why I'm waiting more and more coming after enjoying the beautiful weather of California. We will have more than 300 people coming and going. That's our format, never more. I would like to start, and I'll try to be very brief, but with a story about a small boy who was born back in Soviet Union, and from childhood he loved space and mathematics, physics, and was dreaming to understand how the cosmos works and to understand. And his heroes were people like Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, and others. So the dream became true, and that young small boy became a physicist. He was lucky, he traveled, he was working in wonderful universities in Armenia, in Moscow, in Cambridge, the real Cambridge, in UK. And then in Harvard and elsewhere. And eventually was so lucky meeting some of the gods that he thought that they were gods, and they're very, very important people, and create sort of friendship with them. And I will just mention from that story two names that are connected with California. One of them was Richard Feynman, the great physicist, the founder, creator of quantum electrodynamics, Nobel Prize winner, and a visionary, amazing man. And the other one was Steve Jobs. So this young boy had the chance of meeting them and discussing with them. So why I'm mentioning these two, because later in his life, when he was prime minister of his country, and then he retired because he had cancer, he was in a hospital in London and thinking about his own life when doctors were predicting probably that he will die, and getting this horrible poison called chemotherapy that was killing half of the body in order to cure the cancer. He was thinking about his life, and he was thinking about these two gentlemen that were great visionaries, leaders, and so on and so forth. Richard Feynman, dying from very specific cancer disease in hospital, he wrote to the President of the United States asking him to send the files of the Challenger tragedy. And he was the one, while dying, his brilliant mind found the reason why the Challenger tragedy happened. The same was with Steve Jobs, with the boy had the happy days talking with him about the future. The guy has created Apple, and the boy has created computer games. And then last days of his life, he was regretting that he was not looking inwards. The story comes, well, you probably realize that that small boy now is 73 years old, is standing in front of you, and after basically reaching writing important article on cosmos, on physics and theory of relativity, he eventually realized that he understands 1,000 times more deeply and widely universe, cosmos, physics than his own body. And so we do all. And this small introduction is about very simple thing, that at the end of the day, we are human and we like to go outside to conquer Mars, Moon, the universe, to go to the other galaxies, find other civilization without realizing that any civilization, in order to travel to this small blue planet, has to spend thousands of years with speed of light in order to reach us. It's a dream, or a Hollywood film. But the reality is we know 1,000 times more about cosmos and physics, nature, than we know about ourselves. We don't know anything about ourselves. And our bodies are, and each of our body is another universe. So when we are speaking about multi-universe solution, here it is. Every and each of you is a universe, because it's so complex and complicated, we really don't understand it. We don't understand how our brain works, how we bring consciousness, why on earth the body, why on earth my brain was not controlling my cancer, and so on and so forth. So after 70 years, when I retired as president, I realized that one thing that I have to do is to make sure that we pay attention, time, genius, money on human health and understanding human body. And to make sure the next boys that had the geniuses of genetic geniuses of Richard Feynman and Steve Jobs will not go into business or go into deep in the physics, but most of them will go into health, because that's the new frontier of investing money, thinking about it, and the greatest inventions or greatest ideas will be born doing research in the new cosmos, which is called our body. So that's why Atom was created, and I'm so happy that from day one I found people that believe in dreams. And you know where I found them? In a country that has this tradition called Singapore, a country that was 3 different nationalities fighting each other, then a dream of Lee Kuan Yew come, and he united, created something unique, which is called Singapore. And our first partner of Atom was Singapore National University and the medical school with Professor Yap Sing Chong, who is here, is our partner, and he deserves a lot of thanks for believing in a dream, and he is with us all the time. And we continued our trip, and the next the place that we got together, meeting another dreamer, someone that really makes dreams beautiful and presentable in the Science Museum of London, Ian Blatchford. Sir Ian Blatchford is here today with us. And I continued, because then we found that there are a lot of dreamers in the United States. I'm not speaking about politicians, huh? No, I'm speaking about university people, and we found people like Chancellor of this wonderful, beautiful university, Mr. Frank, and I will be very happy to hear his comment, his words here, and as a Vice Provost, Cindy Fan, and of course the international team of UCLA that helped to organize this conference and become another partner to Atom. And of course it's impossible to speak about this forum and this happening without Eric Esrailian. Well, he has a very interesting name, Israel and Jan. Somehow you put it together. Maybe it's connected with the fact that Jan's Armenians were in the Jerusalem for several thousand years. But the one thing is clear, that Eric Esrailian has both Armenian, and he doesn't have Jewish blood, I don't think, but he has the talent of Jewish and Armenian blood, someone that brings together impossible things and bridges many things. And this was quite impossible, and we are looking for partnership or working together with Eric Esrailian, his energy, his vision, and his team for years to come. And he is the one that also not only introduced that, brought us together, the X-Prize people. And I have to mention that. It's an important another group of dreamers. that are focusing on health and well-being and all worldwide. And the great name that you know is the name of Peter Diamandis and the whole team of X Prize. So this is that I have to, because there is not enough time, as usually, I have to stop here, because there is a problem. I used to be a professor at university. The moment I start talking, I talk 45 minutes, unless somebody says, stop, stop, stop. And it became worse when I became politician. Then you think that you can speak forever. It doesn't matter, do they listen to you or not. Again, this is a new trip to future, because I do believe, and a lot of us do believe, that the future can be bright and beautiful if we start looking inwards, in our thoughts, in our philosophy, in our psychology, and first of all, into our body, because there is a universe there. What we have learned in basically doing research with black holes and neutron stars, elementary particles, should be applied to understand ourselves. If we don't understand ourselves, if we always depend on what's happening outside us, then we are doomed, because things will go wrong all the time. The moment we start thinking and valuing a human mind and body, we are there, and this is the mission for Atom. And I would like to thank everybody and ask Keith to replace me here.